Hello there, I'm Isabelle, and today I'm making ice cream that I can't eat, malheureusement, because it's made of clay. But let me show you how I made it. So let's start with the cone. I made a tube out of foil, then covered it in beige clay. I'm gonna use the end of a takeout chopstick to press little diamond shapes in the clay and create the waffle pattern of the cone. The trick here is to take your time and try to line them up as evenly as you can. But it also doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's a bit crooked, but it's fine. Fun fact, the French word for cone is, well, also cone. But when referring to an ice cream cone, we say cornet de crème glacée. I think cornet is a really cute word, so I'll use that from now on. I made the top shape of the cornet in foil and covered it in clay. Then join the two pieces together. I'll add a coil in the middle to hide the seam, cut off the excess, and gently blend that in with my tool. I'll add texture with a stiff bristle paintbrush. You could also use an old toothbrush instead. And then just dab away. I'll add another coil of clay to make the top rim, cut off the excess, and blend in the seam a bit. Then I'll add texture like I did on the rest of the cornet. I'll add a small disc at the bottom of the cornet and add texture. To make it look more realistic, I'll use soft pastels to darken the clay a little bit. The color I used was ochre yellow and a warm brown. Once that was done, I baked the cornet to save my progress, and once it had cooled down, I started to build the ice cream on top. I made the base of the 2 scoops out of aluminum first, then covered it in yellow clay. So I'm guessing this ice cream would be lemon flavored, or maybe banana? Is banana an ice cream flavor? You could also pick any color or ice cream flavor to make a different Pokemon. Maybe chocolate could be an Eevee, strawberry could be a Ditto, or even a Jigglypuff. This is a beginner-friendly project, so if you want to give polymer clay a try, making some Pokemon ice cream is a great way to get started. The hardest part was making the waffle pattern on the cone, but you can totally skip that if you want to. So I hope you give it a try. Here, I'm just roughly poking and pushing the clay around to refine and smooth out the shape of the top scoop. I want the ice cream to look like it's starting to melt, so I'll add a few drops around the edge. There wasn't any special technique involved here, I just added the clay and poked it around until it looked good to me. If it helps, you can look up pictures of ice cream online and try to replicate what you see. I usually like to do a couple of sketches before starting a project, so I have a good idea of what I want it to look like. But for this one, I only made one, and this project was actually a very spontaneous one. I had a completely different video plan, but ran into a couple of issues and had to order more supplies, so while I wait for that to arrive, I made this. Anyways, when I was happy with the shape of my melting ice cream, I added a bit of texture here and there. We don't want to cover the whole surface like we did for the cone, just in a few spots. I kinda overdid it with the texture, so I went back to smooth out the clay with my finger. For Psyduck's little feet, I want them to be made of biscuit sablé, so I'll start by cutting out little triangles in the clay. Then softly pinch them to soften the edge. I textured them in the same way I did for the cornet, and added ochre and brown pastel around the edge so it looks like a real biscuit sablé. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get hungry. Too bad I can't eat this. Anyways, I made the beak in the exact same way. Even though it still worked out, I should have used a foil base instead of making it from solid clay. Again, I textured the surface with the paintbrush, added ochre and brown pastels around the edge, and stuck it in place. I made chocolate sprinkles by cutting a coat of brown clay in little bits and stuck them on top of Psyduck's head. Well, let's try that again. I also used sprinkle for the eyes. I struggled a bit to get them in place, but I got there. Now he's a happy ducky. You could stop here if you'd like, but I felt like something was missing, so I'll make Psyduck's arm. I made them in the exact same way as the feet and beak. I wasn't sure about the placement, so I tried a few options. When I decided on a placement, I stuck them on and will bake Psyduck to cure the clay. When it had cooled down, I dried brushed a darker yellow on the bottom of each ice cream scoop and a lighter yellow on top. It also helps to hide the little bits of dust that got on the clay. I also dry brushed some highlights on the collet, and to finish it off, I'll add a coat of satin Modpodge on the ice cream. It's gonna make it look shiny, but not too much. Just enough to make your mouth water a little. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you want to eat this? If it wasn't made of clay, just to be clear, don't eat clay. And that's it. Let's see the final shots. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time.